Hi students, my name is Julie T. Underhill and I am a third year, actually going into my fourth year as an ethnic studies PhD student. I will be your GSI this semester, and because I'm currently in Cambodia doing some research and advocacy work, I am recording this in order to give you an introduction to me so that you have a sense of who I am before I actually come back. Let's see. I guess a good thing to start out with is just to give you a general overview of what I'm doing as a filmmaker, since that is potentially really relevant to your sense of my engagement with the material. I have been a filmmaker for the last 10 years. As an undergraduate at the Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington, I studied documentary film and video and experimental film and video. I spent a year in post-production in Seattle as a video editor and graphic designer, and I realized during that year that I was a bit disillusioned with the entry-level sort of opportunities that I had. It was hard for me to find work with a company that seemed really ethical. And so I decided to do my own work as a filmmaker and just fund my own projects and to get other kinds of jobs outside of the industry. But for the last 10 years, I've been working on projects, volunteering for people as a cinematographer and an editor. And I have my own film in process called Second Burial. I filmed it in 2006 in Vietnam, where my mother's from, and it's about my grandmother's second burial ceremony. We're Cham, we're actually an ethnic minority from Vietnam, and according to tradition, we needed a second burial for my grandmother in order to ensure proper passage for her into the afterlife. So it was my mother's first trip back in 31 years. She asked me to film it, and so I shot about 55 hours, and I'm still in post-production because I began my PhD the next year, and it's been somewhat difficult to work on my PhD while I'm doing post-production for the film. So because of that, I kind of see my PhD work, which I'll describe a little further in a moment, as coinciding with my film work. I see them intersecting in certain ways, but I also see myself holding my own ground as a filmmaker and maintaining a continued interest in film and video, even when I'm not directly studying it in school. I am focusing my three areas for my qualifying exams on Asian American history, post-1965, Asian American film and video, and women of color feminism. And I'm focusing my dissertation work on it's on the Cham, the ethnic minority that I'm from, and it's on their cultural and historical practices and memories. They're from both Vietnam and Cambodia, and there are probably about 3,000 of us in the U.S., but there hasn't ever been a comprehensive history of the Cham written in English before, and very little resources in other languages as well. So for my dissertation, I really want to do oral history-based interviews in an effort to really capture their experiences and memories, especially the older generations before they pass away. And I would like to incorporate that into archival research and field work in Vietnam and Cambodia, and just sort of get a sense from both Cham people and from historical and cultural records more about our people. And sorry, I just got a text message. more about our people and our, not only our ancient history, the impact of colonialism and war, but also how post-war diasporic migration and settlement in other countries has affected how we maintain and practice culture and how we remember history. So that's what I'm doing for my DIS. And right now I'm in Cambodia collecting interviews and doing work with the Khmer Rouge War Crimes Tribunal through the Documentation Center of Cambodia. I'm working with another Cham American who lives in LA and is beginning her master's in the fall, doing work on the Cham at UCLA. So we've been friends for about 6 years, and we decided to collaborate on this trip as interns for the Documentation Center of Cambodia. And so I'll be collecting interviews, I'll be attending the War Crimes Tribunal, and I will also travel with my friend to her home village, her maternal family's village, to document her with her grandmother, who is quite old and quite sick, and it might be her last visit with her grandmother, and also it'll be the last time her family can see that family before her grandmother passes, probably, because the rest of her family couldn't come with her. So it's interesting, you know, doing my own documentary work on my family and extending that to my friend is quite a privilege and an honor. I'm really looking forward to it. So my other interests, I've been a photographer since 1994. I've been a writer since I was a little kid, but I've been publishing since 1988, and publishing more in the last 5 or 6 years. I had very few publications when I was younger, but I'm a poet, I'm an essayist, I'm a fiction writer, and I do academic writing as well. I do memoir, essay, and, you know, more like grounded in school and the things that I'm doing as an ethnic studies major sort of things. I'm also mixed race, and so I have been dealing with that legacy and doing critical mixed race studies for some of my writing as well. So I hope that's been an adequate introduction since I'm gone right now. I really apologize for being gone, but I needed to be there when the verdict was being issued for the first trial, and Dr. Osa was so generous and so accommodating enough to allow me to do some work ahead of time before I left, and to be willing to start a little late. So I'm very committed to working with you as a GSI. I've GSI'd for social science methods in ethnic studies and also humanities methods in ethnic studies. I love teaching. I love watching my students' ideas develop and unfold and forming good mentorship with them. So I would like you to feel really welcome to reach out to me as your GSI if you need guidance, if you want to run some ideas by me. That's what I'm here for. So I look forward to meeting you all, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity to introduce myself. And I'm very excited to teach this film class. Film is a deep love for me, and combining it with ethnic studies is wonderful. I kind of feel like I'm getting away with something because it's such an intense combination of my interests and my passions.